That's a little mallard
Do you
duckling.
call yourself a realist?
I guess so.
Yeah, because I mean, I haven't seen your paintings yet. I'm going to get over there and have a look myself, but these could darn near be photographs.
You know, I get a lot of that. People walk in and they go, gee, was this photographs or, you know, are those paintings? And after having gone through this 6-show tour that I've done this summer, my first reaction now is to say, if it looks like a photograph, is it a good photograph? And my second thing to say is, if you go closer and if you look, you will see there are things in that picture you can't possibly see in a photograph.
You're painting wildlife.
That's right. And I've done abstracts.
Yeah.
I enjoyed the abstracts. And in fact, I look at my paintings and I know where the abstracts are. Like if you take a look, one of those big pictures, you take any small area, you go in on it like that, and you'll see one of my abstract paintings still in there. But when I did abstracts back in the 60s, a lot of other people, it's over. I enjoyed it when I did it, and that's that. For me, I love the animals. I could never spend 300 hours sitting, painting anything except an animal. I couldn't do it with a person.
Are you going to stay with wildlife, do you think?
Well, gee, there's an awful lot of them out there, you know, of different species and things like that. You know, I mean, I got a long ways to go.
Your grandmother told you when you were 12 that artists starve in garrets, and you're trying to prove her wrong, aren't you?
Yeah, I am. I don't think you make a choice to be an artist. I think a choice is made for you. And I think anyone who can give it up wasn't one to start with. It's an obsession. And if it doesn't come out in painting, you do like I did. All kinds of other things. You know, you land up doing stage design because they will pay you not much, but then you can get a job doing it.
Joan did stage and costume design for Persephone and 25th Street Theaters in Saskatoon, where she's lived for many years.
The one that I always liked was the Rainmaker that we did at the Greystone, because I love that.
That was tough work. You didn't take that up as a teenager or anything?
Oh, no. I did that when I had 3 kids at home. I think I started a little late on that one. I mean, I enjoyed it, but I don't know how my kids survived. You know, I come home count heads.
And you're a single mom?
Yeah.
You're raising them and...
They're raising me. It's very mutual, you know.
And you had more than one job?
Yeah.
Several?
Yeah.
Things happening in your life all at once.
Yeah, I think there's a point in my life when I sort of backed down out of theater, partly because in order to continue with stage design, it meant getting out of Saskatoon and being anywhere in Canada in 6 weeks. And theater didn't pay enough to allow you to do anything with it.
Painting is now a full-time occupation in Joan's life. Her main medium is gouache.
1987, I guess I decided that I was going to give it one last go, see what would happen if I just didn't do anything else. I've always painted whenever I was between projects, between one thing and the next. And I would stop and I would paint out if I ran out of money until the next job came along or whatever happened. Thing had happened, well, actually 2 things happened. One, I discovered animals again, and that it was something that would hold my attention. And from the animals, then I discovered the wildlife. I don't know how I can say I enjoy it, because any of my friends will tell you that I curse and I swear and I beat on the walls when I'm painting, because it'll take me 3 months maybe to do a painting, and I mean the progress you'll make is you may get that much done in a day. You know, you get a little area about that big. And sometimes I'll paint, and my friends, and when I'm doing an overall, like I'm going back and working the detail over and stuff, they can't even see, no idea what I've done. In most cases, I paint the eyes first. And then it's difficult, the ones that I set up where you can't see the eyes. There's a couple where it just didn't work in what I was trying to do. Then you paint the eye and the little eye watches, you know, and the little eyes always sort of on you. In a lot of cases, a lot of people wonder about birds, you know, they don't think of them as being very intelligent, or they sort of discount them. Either love them or they totally discount them. And they don't paint, they notice a lot of wildlife artists don't paint birds at all, just mammals. The picture is set up to emphasize the animal. The backgrounds tell you something about the animal. In some ways, they're a challenge to me. Like I will get an idea of what I want to happen in the picture, how I want to set the animal off. And it becomes part of a problem, pictures, because I try to paint so that if you were standing that distance from the animal, you would see that part of the feather. The little wood duck is a wonderfully colored little animal, but he has a patch on his back that is made up of very, very dark blue feathers. You can't make out where those feathers are. You have to go and find a poor little stuffed one and count those feathers. The more you paint and the more you observe, the more you learn. I can pick out birds now in flight that I probably didn't see 5 years ago. Like I didn't know they were there. And it's like a gift. It's an added piece to my life.
They involve 2 images that blend one into the other and in a way are woven. It's like being able to see 2 things at one time. I spent a lot of my life wandering through the landscape, looking at old farm sites and wanting to see the stories, know what the stories were, and found myself beginning to create those stories, found a way of creating those stories. This is the way it works. The pieces come together. This particular one, the way it worked was when you get a good spring and you see the wildflowers start to bloom. One day I saw an old photograph, and diagonally across the center was this big, huge steam plow. On one side, there was just grass. On the other side, big, wide furrows. That image, those 2 images came together in my mind. When I started to do these, I think probably there was a little thought in the back of my mind that maybe they wouldn't take as much time as the wildlife because, you know, you weren't doing all the little feathers and all the little hairs. But I was wrong. I spent a lot of time going, let me see, do I put this in front of that or that behind? No, they take just as long. I just try to get, you know, adjust to it. I'm going to adjust. I'm just going to not try to be speedy. It's not in my nature anymore. I've always exhibited with the wildlife mostly in nature centers and places like that. The Meewasin is great for me because it covers both the aspects of these paintings, and it's oriented to both nature and history. It's a little more difficult with these pictures than with the wildlife. I've always found that I put them where people are going to be interested in that subject.
And these are very different from what you've done in the past, aren't they?
Yeah, they are.
Is this the first time you've done this kind of woven?
Yes, yes. It's a result of an obsession, I guess, that had to come out. You think of the idea, and then you think, no, I don't think I can do that. And then you think, if you don't do it now, you're not going to. So you go and you try it, and you find you can do it, and then you get hooked. And there we are.